Okay, it's recording. So hi everyone, Bethany here. Today we have an expert interview with Dave Stevens, personal trainer. He's going to talk with us today about the importance of exercise and how to incorporate it into your lifestyle. So thanks, Dave, for being here today.
Of course. Yeah, happy to be here.
Thanks. So let's dive right in. Tell us a little bit about your experience with personal training and exercise.
Um, I've pretty much been into fitness in some way or another for most of my life because I've had an obsession with ice hockey since I was a little kid. And everything I would do growing up would be like getting ready for next hockey season or trying to be faster, stronger, more flexible. And as I got older, I kind of realized the benefits of the things I was doing as just more of a lifestyle than simply hockey. I do still play hockey, and a lot of things I do are for hockey, but at the same time, I've kind of found a lot of joy in working out and a lot of just happiness, I guess, involved with it.
Awesome. And you've done personal training for a couple of years, I know too, with
Yeah, I worked at a gym for a little bit. I'm a full-time touring musician, but when I'm off the road, I do like to write people programs online mostly.
Mhm.
And for a while, I got my start at a gym out in Los Angeles when I was living there, and that kept me pretty busy. But I fell out of love with the chain gym personal training methods, I guess. So I'll get into that more later.
Yeah, sure. So what would you say with your experience, what are the benefits of exercise?
I mean, like I said, for me, it brought so much joy to my life. I got into it because, like I said, hockey and everything, but what really made me get into strength training and spending more time at the gym was I went through a tough relationship and a tough breakup, and it kind of put me in a weird spot mentally that was kind of a low point for me.
Mhm.
And instead of getting super drunk or just sitting around and, wallowing in my depression, I was like, I'm going to give this gym thing a try. I'm going to try to go more often. And it was cool. It was kind of my quiet place. So I would go there and lift weights, put on my favorite record, and I would leave feeling twice as good as when I, entered the gym. So that's definitely one of the benefits. And then especially when you start to see results, it makes you, addicted to it.
Mhm.
You just want to be bigger. You want to be stronger. You want to be leaner, whatever it is, it is addicting. And, those are the benefits for me personally. And then just feeling good about yourself, it
Yeah,
brings about confidence and an extra purpose in your life, I guess.
absolutely. Well, and I know what you mentioned with having the difficulties with the breakup. It definitely helps boost your mood. Um,
Yeah,
the endorphins and things that you get when you exercise. And I know a lot of the members that we have, emotions can be a big part of what they're going through. So working out is a way to help reduce stress or, help, like you said, make them feel better about themselves too.
for sure. I was going to get into it a little later, but
Yeah.
endorphins are pretty interesting. Your body releases them when you're stressed or feeling pain or something. And in a way, exercising is kind of painful for your body. So your body will release endorphins. And the crazy thing about endorphins is they have a similar addictiveness and effect as morphine or heroin or nicotine, which is crazy
Yeah.
because you actually do get hooked on them. And that's subconsciously kind of a big reason why people fall in love with the gym and exercising so much, is because you leave and you're just on cloud nine, you feel great and excited, and it's much more healthy than heroin. So.
Right. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's like that runner's high people talk about, I'm sure.
Exactly. Yeah. It's cool. You feel accomplished and great, and your body's just pumped.
Yeah. Yeah. So how would you suggest someone begin an exercise routine and incorporate it into their lifestyles? Because I know a lot of us may not know how to jump right in.
I think what I notice with a lot of my clients is most people have a problem in the first month, I would say, because it usually takes about 4 weeks till you start really seeing results. And
Mhm.
that's one of the most motivating factors, I think. Yeah, I talk about feeling good and your mental health and everything, but I think when someone really gets hooked is when they see that they lost 10 pounds, or all of a sudden they're putting up more weight than they thought, or they can actually run a 5K. That's when people really start getting hooked. So I think that first month is the most difficult because you're kind of struggling. You don't really see results till week 3 or 4, and you're just kind of beating yourself up and you're like, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say, commit to it. Say you're going to do it like you would. Like, you don't wake up for work and say, I don't feel like going to work today, I'm not going to go. Just commit to it. Say you're going to do it. It only takes 30 minutes. And if you're one of those people that when you get off work, you're really tired, just set aside time before you go to work. If you start work at 8, get up at 7, work out for 30 minutes, get ready for work. And when you go to work, you're going to feel way better, way more energized. You'll be in a better mood too. So, I mean, that's the hardest thing, is just getting yourself committed to it. Make yourself a promise that, all right, for the next 2 months, I'm going to do this. I promise I'm not going to stop. And I promise by the end of those 2 months, you're going to be like, this is awesome. And you're just going to keep going and going and going.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it can take that long to develop a habit too, which I know can be hard for people. So
exactly. You just have to accept it as, this is something I have to do, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and just do it. And it doesn't take that long. You don't need to be at the gym for 2 hours. You can get a great workout in 30 minutes in your living room.
Yeah. Yeah. And getting other people involved, which we'll talk about in a little bit, helps too, I'm sure.
For sure.
So what would be considered, there's different levels, like low, medium, high intensity. How would you kind of break those down?
I think the easiest way to classify them is what your heart rate's at.
Okay.
So for low intensity, your heart rate's sitting around 40% of your max heart rate, and you can usually sing a song while doing those things. Even household chores can be low intensity, like mowing the grass, doing any yard work, mopping the floor, walking, swimming, light yoga. Mm-hmm. It's all and light swimming, because swimming can be pretty crazy too.
Sure, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with low intensity. If that's where you're at, that's where you're at. Something's always better than nothing. Mm-hmm. But more is better than something. If you can do more, it's good to do more. But if you're at the point where walking a mile does get your heart rate up into, the moderate level, that's awesome. Keep doing that. And when that gets easy, bump it up.
Yeah. Because some people, you have to start somewhere. So some people.
Exactly. And something's better than nothing. And moderate, you can make those exercises moderate as well. And moderate's between 50 and 70% max heart rate. Okay. So that can be power walking or swimming a little further, or, doing yoga in a 100-degree room. That's going to definitely be more in the moderate zone.
Right.
And then high intensity would be things like sprints, and even like in marathons and stuff like that. I don't really think your heart rate quite gets up into that high intensity range. The only way to really get it up there is sprints, where you run as fast as you can for a minute, rest for 30 seconds, run as fast as you can. Okay. And that's the best category for fat burn. Actually, there was a study, I forgot the college that did it, but there was a study that showed that doing sprints for a third of the amount of time is actually more effective than running.
Oh, wow.
Which is crazy. So you get better results in less time. But high intensity training isn't something that everyone can do. It's something that you have to work up to. And because it's very intense. Your heart rate's usually around 85%.
Okay. Yeah, it's those short bursts of energy, but to get there. And some of the people that, are in this membership may not be able to do quite that high. So. No,
and in moderate and light stuff is awesome. I mean, if it's challenging for you, it means it's probably working.
Good. Yeah. Awesome. So what would you say are some good basic equipment for people to keep at home if they're not up for going to the gym or don't, have a membership or something like that?
If you have something to step up on and a set of resistance bands, you can pretty much do everything. Even if you can't jump or have bad knees, I mean, there's still ways to get your heart rate up using resistance bands and just your own body weight. Just put a chair behind you, stand up, sit on it, stand up, sit on it. Do that 10 times in between some arm curls. You're going to be pretty toast. I'm a big fan of resistance training. Oftentimes people, when they're wanting to lose weight or work out or be healthier, they just go straight to running. Mm-hmm. Running's great. Don't get me wrong, but when you combine resistance training with cardio, that's when you can make your workouts so much shorter, because resistance training, you're burning off all these sugars. And then as soon as you switch to the cardio, you're instantly in fat burn. Instead of, if you're just running, you got to run for like 30, 40 minutes to really get into that fat burn.
Right.
So yeah, if you just do like 15, 20 minutes of resistance bands and then go walk around for 10 minutes or jog, like it's way more effective in a shorter amount of time. So whenever I write people home workouts, I usually do resistance bands, and then in between, curls or whatever exercise I'm having them do on resistance bands, I have them do step ups, bench sits, anything in between that just keeps your heart rate up. And I think that's the most effective thing. And that you could do those exercises in a closet. You don't need any room. You don't need anything crazy. Just, 2 pieces of equipment pretty much.
Yeah, that's awesome that you don't need too much just to get all those benefits. And weight loss, as our members know from the email that they'll get, is a really important thing for lowering your risk of overall cancers, but breast cancer specifically. So that's really good that combo works well for that.
Yeah, I've been reading up on some of that stuff, and it seems like, from what I've read, your body likes to hold on to a lot of toxins in your fat. And so, yeah, it's important to burn it off and get rid of it, so there's less places for those toxins to hide.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and our fat cells create estrogen, which is a growth factor for breast cancer. So shedding any of that excess fat just lowers your risk just by just one of those factors. But the toxins definitely too. That's where we store it, just to kind of keep it in a safe spot. So definitely. If someone's fatigued, like if they've just gone through treatment or surgery, what kind of exercise would you recommend for someone like that?
I mean, everyone's different. For some people, walking a mile is going to be difficult. Other people, that's just how they get to work. I guess it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
But for me, if I'm ever feeling tired or out of it in any way or fatigued, I just like getting outside, if possible. I mean, even just going for a 20-minute walk or go to the beach and swim a little bit, do something to get your blood flowing. That's what I always like to do. And sometimes I love going to the gym, but sometimes if I'm not in the mood, I'd rather just go walk outside or go for a jog outside. And being outside's awesome for you. Fresh air. And there's something about nature that just, I don't know what the science is behind it, because that's definitely not my area of expertise, but there's something about, being under the sun, being in the fresh air, for me at least, while working out, that has an added bonus to it compared to a gym.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, it's okay to do low intensity. It's still something. So it's whether it's walking outside or doing maybe some light yoga or something like that, at least it's something you're getting your body moving.
Exactly. And it, I actually been walking outside a lot more since I got a dog, because she's always got to go for walks. But, I'll walk her for like 20 minutes and come back in and I'll be sweating. And, that obviously shows that it's doing something.
Right. Right. And like you said, the fresh air, getting out in nature, that's a perfect way to do it too.
And like I was saying earlier too, when you do things like that, your body releases those endorphins and you just naturally feel better. And it's definitely a proven fact that you'll feel better if you go and get some exercise and get your body moving.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So you kind of mentioned part of this earlier, and the endorphins may be part of this too. How would someone stay motivated to work out?
I mean, like I said, you kind of get hooked as well when you start seeing results, the endorphins that I keep talking about. And then for me, at least, I'll get bored with the routine usually after 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, if I'm lucky, usually it's more around 3 weeks. I kind of get sick of what I'm doing. So I'm always changing it up. If I'm doing running for my cardio, I try swimming or biking, or even my lifts, my resistance training, I'll change it up. Like I'll not, it'll be beautiful outside. I'll not feel like going to the gym and going inside. So I'll go outside with my resistance bands, go to a park or something. Yeah. I just think it's important to keep your routine fresh and keep, if you're bored with it, stop forcing yourself to do it. Try something different.
Right. If you're not enjoying it anymore,
because that's the worst. That's what happens with people. They get sick of just going and doing bench press every day, or like, it's good to change it up, try different things. And that's how I personally stay motivated, because I get bored really quick at the gym.
Yeah. So it's kind of just changing up the setting or changing what you're doing.
Yeah, it can be as simple as just going to a different gym. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it just different environments or different exercises. It can just be the slightest thing, and it'll make you pumped up again. Or what my fiance does is she just will go get a new pair of shoes or a new gym shirt or something, and then she's like, all right, let's go, and she's all amped to go again.
That's true. Yeah. Getting new outfits always motivates
Yeah, like
us.
she'll be in a slump, and I'll see on Amazon she ordered like 2 new outfits, and then killing it again for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good way.
Whatever works.
Yeah, whatever works for you. So speaking of that, what are ways to get in your family or kids or caregivers involved in your workouts? Because I know you guys work out together sometimes.
Yeah, it's super important. Her and I love it. It's we have enough in common that we work, but we're kind of different people. So the fact that she works out is cool because we keep each other accountable, and it's something that we do together.
Yeah.
One of the few things that we both enjoy on the same level. So it's cool. Like if I'm slacking, she kind of gets on me, and vice versa. So I would say it's definitely important, but it's also important to make sure you don't partner yourself with someone that's going to slow you down too much. It's awesome to get other people involved with you, but make sure that you're still going at your same pace. Don't let them slow you down or unmotivate you.
Mm-hmm.
Motivate them to meet you where you are.
Right.
Because that happens too. I would say it's kind of what's the word? I'm drawing a blank right now. Basically, when you're working out and you're feeling good and people see you start losing weight, they want to know what you did and they want to get involved. There's a word for this and I can't think of it. But
it's like you're attracting them to do the same thing. Kind of.
Yeah, they're going to be very attracted to what you're doing and curious what you're doing. I think that in itself will bring people to what you're doing and will spark their curiosity. But another way is like with kids, for example, when I would train younger kids and stuff sometimes that, I'd be training their parents and they would want some sessions for their kids, just make it into a game.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Especially if the kids are competitive, get out your stopwatch and time them how fast they can run from this spot to this spot. Let them rest. But, oh, you can do better. Try it again.
Yeah.
Little things like that, or, throw them a ball, or get a big medicine ball and make a game out of it. Play catch back and forth. With kids, it's usually just games.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, with other people, a lot of times when someone's not healthy and you're feeling great, they're going to want to talk about it. I've noticed they're like, oh man, I wish I could lose weight. I wish I could. Well, you can come with me. Like I'm going this week, we'll hit it on Sunday and then we'll go get brunch after or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like make it more of a social thing. And people get attracted to it.
Yeah. Get them involved. Make it fun kind of thing, not just we have to go at this time. It's like, let's go hang out and do this together.
Exactly. I mean, even with walking, like, if they don't want to go to the gym, be like, all right, well, let's go for walks together. We can talk, catch up, you can make it a social thing, make it something more fun. And then people by the end of it don't even realize, oh, I just walked 2 miles. I worked out.
Yeah. Very true. No, I think those are great ideas. And plus, if you start with the kids early, that just develops habits for them later on too. So
yeah, and kids are the best clients because they're really easy to motivate. They just make a game out of whatever you're doing, and they're like, "Oh, I can beat my sister, sweet!" Like, or vice versa. Yeah. That's the best way with kids, at least.
No, that's perfect. Those are great ideas. So I know you're not. I mean, our members can be all over the country, and you're in Georgia. So how can someone find a personal trainer like yourself in their area, and what do they look for if they're looking to hire someone?
There's a lot of websites now where you can just type in your zip code and it'll bring up hundreds of trainers that are nationally certified near you. I think that's a better route, and kind of interview them. You know what I mean? And a lot of them will offer a session or two free before they make you sign up, because you really want to make sure you have a connection with them. They're called personal for a reason. You have to make sure they're able to cater to what you need, that you get along with them. And you need to make sure that they're patient, because a lot of trainers, they want you to get results really quick. A lot of times it's not a malicious thing. It's just they want you to feel great about yourself as quickly as possible, but they need to be patient enough to be able to work at the pace that you need and cater your program to you specifically. Those are really important things, and always make sure that they're positive, not negative. You don't want someone to be like, you're not strong enough to do this. You're not fast enough. You're not, no, it's all about, hey, you just did this way better than last week. That's awesome. Positive reinforcement is way better than negative. You don't want a personal trainer to make you feel bad.
Right.
A lot of, yeah, exactly. And a lot of really good trainers, that's why they're so good. That's why they have clients. That's, why they're successful. Oftentimes like chains like LA Fitness and a few of those, I've watched some of their trainers, and it just like blows my mind that people hire them because they'll be next to you, but they're not being attentive. So you want to make sure they're attentive, and that, and they're putting like this old lady through the same routine they just put this 23-year-old kid that's benching 400 pounds through. Like they have to have different routines. They have to be different. So if you find a personal trainer at one of those chain gyms that works for you, awesome. That's really great. But oftentimes those chains will also switch up trainers every week. So your trainer every week, they don't know what you're good at or what your story is or anything. It's just a new person every week. So I would suggest finding one that you gel with, that you feel a connection with, that you feel like almost like friends with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is going to just cater to you and go to you and work for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think those are all good tips because you want them to meet you where you're at and it be personal to you, just like you said. So I think that those are great tips.
If your guy's like on his phone while you're like working out, then time to find a new one.
Yeah, because they're not paying attention to you.
Exactly. So what's the point?
Right. You're paying them pretty good money. You want to make sure they're paying attention. Well, awesome. I think this is some great information for our members. So thank you for sharing with us, Dave. If people have questions, I'll share Dave's email address, just some basic questions about exercise or personal training. And he's also going to develop some videos for us so that you'll have access to those to do some home exercises as well. So thank you again for being with us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. Take care.